All right. So we'll talk about power choices in your swing. So I think there's vertical forces, what you call lateral forces, or rotational forces. They're all they're not distinctive forces. They're powered by pushing with your legs either more this way, right? So a lateral is still push. They're all sort of partly vertical or off vertical, let's say. But one thing I would say, trying to work on a consistent swing, learn how to keep your club face square to path. So if you can do that, then whatever power source you work with is up to you. This is the fundamental skill, is to control this relative to the path and where it lands. Right, so if I can go through the ball, control that path and face, I can hit it down the middle. And if you can hit it straight, even if it doesn't go, you don't hit it perfect, even if it doesn't go as far as you want, or you misjudge those things, you're still in play. So there's the fundamental skill. Learn how to move through the ball where you're controlling the face and the path and where you hit the ground. So there's your fundamental skill. Then the question is, how do you add some power to that? So there I am, controlling face and path. How do I add power? So I think if you think of the swing as maybe it's arbitrary, because the swing could be 1 part, 100 parts, but as an arbitrary structure, somewhat, we will talk about tossing it back, dropping. So there's a toss, a drop, a lateral, and a rotational. So the lateral move has to precede the rotational move. So a lot of people will, to the top, turn, and then you're already cooked, right? So you have to get the weight transferred, and the turn has to be last. But which move you power is somewhat optional, I think. So I can either power the shift as the power move of my swing, or the rotation, or the mixture of rotation and vertical. Those are versions. So if I power so let me show you. So I'll do it slowly here. If I can sort of drop and then rotate through, right? So it's both vertical and rotational. Or I can emphasize the shift move as being the hard move, and then that's just a passive. The rotation becomes just going with my body. So I'll show you the two versions. I'll do the rotational version first. So emphasizing the rotation at the end of the swing there. There's a more rotational swing. It's not more rotational, it's just rotation is the move that powers it more. So the other choice that I do, and I'm sure there's more than these two, but the other one I tend to do is to shift hard and then let the rotation happen. So I'll show you what that looks like. So the emphasis is on that move being hard and then letting the rotation just happen after that. So I would say try both things and see what your body likes better. If you tend to pull hook it, I would work on making your shift harder, because it keeps you more square and not gets you, through the ball that way. If you have a swing where you're not finishing your turn, then emphasize going through the ball more than turning. So I'll try one more with this shift version. There's a good one. So I think the shift, I do both, and I do it a little bit. I'm inclined to do more rotation power as I get to longer clubs, and it's just because this shifting feels less like the plane I'm on when I'm hitting a driver. So with the driver, I tend to rotate through it more. When I'm hitting these shorter clubs, I tend to emphasize a little more the lateral move. So try both things.